said, so before we get started, if you notice, you see how it's swelled up right there?
Yeah.
Huh. And it's swelled up right here? Because we didn't use a sealer on it. So that's the purpose of the sealer. Was I explaining to you the sealer the last time? Okay, so the sealer, what the sealer does, it creates a barrier so it doesn't allow this it's like called swelling.
Oh, yeah,
So,
I see it.
yeah, so it's called swelling. So what we did was we did the body work, we primered it, and then we painted over the primer, but it had like a lot of material in it, so it started to swell. So Andreas asked if once we wax and grease remove it, if we touch it, will it get fisheye?
Will the grease on your hands cause like a reaction? The paint react or anything like that?
It could if you just ate chicken. No, it wouldn't, but it could. You just got to be careful. You got to be careful because the oil from your skin might kind of like leave like a fingerprint indentation or something. So what we're gonna do is we wiped it down. We'll get the 1500. Let me show you. So we're gonna use check it out, guys. We're gonna use the 15. You're gonna be doing this, Andres, so pay attention. We have the 1500. We have the 3000, and then we have the 5, right? So this technique is a newer way of buffing. Before, like before we would get like these. We'll get the 1000. You buff like that, or you sand it with 1000, and then you're buffing it right with the wool pad, and it makes a bunch of mess. So the purpose of this is just so it's not as messy. So we'll get this. Where's the DA at? Okay. So we're just gonna spray a little bit of water. Boom. That's all the water you need. And then we're gonna if you notice, look at it from this way, and you'll see this is lifted, it's elevated a little bit. You see it? It's elevated a little bit just to put more pressure on the back. Because I'm putting pressure so it cuts. So I'll do that and then I'll dry it. Where's the chamois? A lot of mistakes that guys make whenever they start to DA is they DA it, they sand it as if they're gonna paint it. So like they sand all the edge and and so just like when you're wet sanding, you don't really have to sand like the edges and stuff. Like you don't want to sand all this and then you're trying to buff it and it's gonna burn.
Yeah.
So once you hit it one time, you'll start to notice like, this is very similar to like block sanding it. So also if you
How quick does it cut through the paint like that layer?
well, look at it. Yeah, so, huh? Well, it's block sanding it.
Yeah.
So you have to also too, like you can go over it a bunch of times, and the more you go over it, the flatter it's gonna get. So you don't want to like over sand it to where it fucking like glass finish, like you know, like it's all like glass, and the rest of the car is orange peel like factory.
Yeah.
So you don't want to overdo it. You know, because a lot of guys they're like, man, I'm gonna make it look like glass, and then the customer comes and like, dude, the fucking car, the hood looks better than the whole car.
And then like just
Like-
enough to get these spots out, right?
Yeah. So you can go over it one time, and then I'm gonna spray this, and then you can come back and just target over those areas right there if you wanted to. So I can come like this, target that. At first, it seems like it wastes more time because you're used to like physically just sanding it and like running through it. But this is gonna give you, it's cleaner. We're not getting the floor all wet. You're not, your socks are not getting all wet.
Yeah.
And like, let me show you. I'm gonna go over one more time. I'm always washing this out to make sure that I get all the residue off. I'm gonna do it one more time. So with the clear, so with the way the clear works is there's windows. So like we shot this yesterday, right? And so the clear is not fully cured yet. So the clear is probably has like maybe like a day or two to cure, and once it cures, it gets harder to buff. That's why have you ever painted a car and then come back like 2 weeks later and try to buff it? Like it's like rock hard, it's fucking like hard as shit to buff. It's because the clear already locked up. So there's different kind of clears. So there's a clear that dries like next day rock hard, and there's some that have like a window. And so a production clear is gonna have a small window for you to go and cut and buff it if you want to. Right. So that's why sometimes people don't understand, like if they wait too long to buff a car, it'll get too hard to buff. So it also depends on the type of clear you use. So it really depends on what you're doing. But this is we're using the chroma base, so this is like a production clear. So you could dry it. You can go over it again if you like. I'll probably go over it again, but I'm just gonna do this area to show y'all, okay? And then you can do the rest. What I'll usually do is before I throw this one out, I'll go over all this, and then I'll throw it out and I'll put a new one. So you can.
You ever switch to a different pad besides that one?
Oh yeah, so do the 15 first. I'm gonna do right here, like so. Once you do the whole hood, you'll probably use like three of these here. Also, too, the better you sand it. Look, come over here. Come over. Look, you see this right here? Mm-hmm. What you see it right there?
Yeah.
You see it, Andres? It's called a. You know what it's called?
Is that the fish eye? Or no?
No, that's called a pigtail. Because it looks like a pig's tail. But what it is,
From the DA?
well, it actually got some dirt in there. Like something got in here and it's making a deeper scratch. So you got to be careful for that. It's called a pigtail. So like if I'm standing with 1500, right, and the compound is made to take 1500 scratches out, and that's a 600, it's not gonna take it out. So you got to be careful as you're standing. That's why you keep wiping it, because if the wind catches some dirt or something, you catch under here, and then now you have a piece of rock.
Could we close that?
No, you don't need to close it. I'm using the light. It's not that windy anyway, so you're fine. But I just want to show you this area right here. So give me a 3000. And like, you see how these little areas right here look? It's pretty flat. But let's say you want to kind of still. This right here. You see how it's in.
Mm-hmm.
This one's out. You see it's up, and this one's down. That's like a fisheye or something. So the way you can get that out, you can do it by hand. This you can block that out. You don't want to try to block that out because you might end up burning the paint. This is 3. Okay, look. So you have a little piece of dirt right there still. So I'm gonna go over this. I'm just gonna buff this little area right here. So this is 3,000. Okay, give me a 5. This is still good. Okay, you have the buffer, right? Ready? We can use that 3M, or if you want to use the spinning one. The difference is that one's more of an orbital buffer, and that one's a spinning buffer. So you could try that one if you like. Just blow that pad off. So basically what we're doing is we're going from 1500 grit to 3000 to 5. And it's going to be easier to buff out. So let me move these over here so I don't get compound on them. Try it. Is that one? Mm-hmm. Okay, go for it. Grab a microfiber. I got one going. All right, let me get a rag. Hold on. Yeah. Look, I'm just gonna do this. This is important too. So I'm just gonna wipe this down so you can see what it looks like. So look, if you notice, it's already smooth. It's pretty much like needs to be just light polished out. Okay, and so look, if it's like this, it's gonna be easier to buff out than having a lot of traction like this. It's gonna buff out a lot smoother. So go ahead and give it a shot. One of the main things that I tell people is like, if you want to learn how to paint, like once you know how to buff, painting's easier, because once you know how to buff, then that means that whatever you paint, if it comes out fucked up, you know how to fix it. You can always buff it out.
Yeah.
So if you can paint it outside, we can get a shitload of dirt, but as long as we know how to buff it out, it'll be fine. Go for it. Because the buffer, so the way the buffer works is the pad creates friction on this, and it creates heat.
Okay.
And when you like feel it, it's like a little warm.
Yeah, a little warm.
So whenever you warm this up, it opens up.
Okay.
So that's what allows it to like kind of level out. So you're creating friction with the pad. And right here, you're putting pressure on it. Like I'm pushing down with this to create the friction. Look, feel the heat.
Okay.
That's what the buffing does. It creates a friction. Like the wool pad, it creates friction. And so one of the reasons why they switched to this is so you won't have you'll have less swirl marks. Cause you know the buffer spin like this. This is more like over. Let me see that here with this. I'm just gonna wipe this down so you can kind of see what the finish looks like. It buffs out pretty easy. You see it? Versus the old wool pad and getting all that lint everywhere.
Yeah.
So what we can do is you can keep going over that. Go grab that light inside the office where my desk is at. There's like a little, yeah. Let me see. Oh yeah, you can still see it. We also need a buff over here because there's like a little swelling still. So one important thing too, whenever you're compounding, I know I use this, but I just wanted to show you like the shine on it, okay? But whenever you're buffing, you want to make sure you're using a chamois because this is going to accumulate compound in it. So if you're wiping it through the whole process and then you go to polish it and then you still have compound here, you're basically just scratching it, yeah. So use that. So this will kind of help you to see if there's any sand scratches. See right here, it's like kind of dull.
Yeah.
Oh, right here, you see it. That's why it's important to have good light because on a dark color, like if we were to tilt it like this, it looks like glass, like it looks like it's done.
Yeah.
But when you put in the light, you're gonna see all the swirl marks. So before you kind of like say I'm done, look at it at different angles. Like you can see the scratches right there. There's a bunch of scratches there.
Yeah, I can see.
Because once you take it outside, what a lot of painters do and a lot of guys that buff is they'll buff it and then they'll be quick to polish it and they'll be quick to wax it. And so if we were to wax this, it'll look like it's done. But what happens is when the customer washes the vehicle a couple times, the wax washes off and then you see all those swirl marks and it looks like shit. So it's better the goal with the compound is to get it as shiny as possible where it looks like it's already waxed.
Yeah.
So try to get it as shiny as possible, and then you polish it, and then you wax it, and you're gonna have you're not gonna have any problems with swirl marks. Wipe all this excess compound off, just so you don't have it. And the reason why I use a chamois is because it captures it, and then you can wash it off in there. So we're gonna go over this area right here because it still looks like kind of funny. You see it?
Yes.
So grab me a 1500 from over there, please. I'm gonna go over with this right here, this area right here. I don't like the way that looks.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, I'm gonna go over this real quick. And then you wanna do the rest? Do you have questions? Any questions?
not at the moment.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do this over here too. Is this the same buffer? DA? Oh no, it's
No, it's
here.
Is there a difference between the DAs?
They're just kind of older. One's
Okay. But I know that there's like different
I guess my next question would be what would cause a burn mark? Just sitting too long in one spot?
the burn is gonna be if you sand it too far down, or you hit the edges with the buffer, and it's too hot. So that's why whenever you're sanding it, avoid sand. Like I usually say, try to keep put a finger like right here, like you don't have to go right on that edge. Like just stay a distance from the edge right here. Stay a distance from it if you're not that good with buffing yet, just so you don't burn that edge. And plus, we put a lot of clear on this, so we should be good. But that's why you always want to know how much clear it has.
Yeah.
Because if they put too thin paper coats, and you're trying to sand it with 1,000, it's gonna burn.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. How much clear did you put on it?
Yeah, we put quite a bit of clear on this. It has like three good coats. Where the hood gets on pushing down it because I'm going to cut. This is how fast it's going. This is how fast it's going. This is how much. The putting pressure slowing down. You don't want to over wet it because then what happens is it starts to slide everywhere. Like you're not. If you put too much water, give me the shot. If you put too much water, it's like floating. Like the water like makes it like glide.
Okay.
And so you're not cutting. So you just want to cut a couple of sprays of water. So it's still kind of right there. But it looks a lot better. It's right there. Usually what I'll do is I'll get one and I'll kind of try to go over the whole hood, and it kind of just cuts it the first time. Like it opens it up. And then the second one kind of is a little bit better cut because it's already open. Let me just do right here. What we should have done was we probably should have maybe prepped the booth a little bit better, and then
Possibly the rag.
huh?
Possibly the rag.
Yeah, the rag, and then and maybe we could have even put it on the hood stand where we're standing up like straight versus laying down. Yeah, so if we're standing up, we're gonna get less dirt, and so now whenever you're gonna go buff it, you're not having to sand the whole hood. You can just like you'll find a little. It's called nibbing it out. So you're just trying to find it where the dirt's at, and you're just gonna go like this. You're nibbing it out, nibbing it out, nibbing it out, and you knock all those nibs off, and you go with it with the 3,000 or 5,000, and you can hit it with a small buffer, and you'll be done with it.